Once again, welcome to Simple Price Action series, and today is episode 4 of this Simple Price Action series. And today we're going to talk about booby trap entries. This is one of the best entries and one of the easiest entries to get, and I hope you're going to use it for your benefit. So let's get into it. So like I say, this is one of the easiest entries to get, and it has 3 rules. The 3 rules are as follows. Let me write here the rules. Sorry. So let me write here the rules. The rules. So rule number 1, you must identify the trend, okay? The trend. And if in this case, we are going to use just candlestick, the candles formation, okay? The candles formation. And then rule number 3, number 2 is you need to see a weak level created. Now, once again, if you haven't watched the first episode of this series about levels in the market, please go and watch that video. Okay, and the rule number 3, you must see an exhaustion week. Okay, these are just the only 3 rules that you have to follow in order to get these entries of booby trap. Now, the booby trap is just like this. You will find the price creates bearish candles right here, like this, creating bearish candles like that, okay? And then you find all of a sudden, you find um, a small bearish candle created, leaving out a huge wick like that, and then sometimes a small wick like that. So that shows you that is a trap. And the next move is where we are going to take an entry. So the next candle will open and go below like this and continuing going below. So the entry here will be the last after the price trade below this area, that candle, that is where we place our entry and stop loss just below, above it, like that. It's very, very easy and you're going to trade that bearish movement. In case of a bullish trend, you can find a price creating candles like that, okay? And then suddenly you find a sell candle created, leaving out a huge wick, in sometimes a small wick like that. Then you'll find the next candle open and goes below, above, right there. So our entry will be here, the stop loss below here, and we'll trade this movement going up like that. So the rules are simple. First of all, you need to identify the trend in terms of candlestick. You need to identify the clear trend. Sometimes you may find 1 candle, 2 candle, then creating a booby trap, or sometimes even more candles creating before the booby trap. And then the rule number 2, a weak level. Weak level meaning candle has to close below the 50%, okay? And leaving out the rule number 3 now, which is exhaustion, okay? Exhaustion, you need to see an exhaustion wick, a long wick like that. And then you enter just below there and the take profit will be just above there. So Let's see the examples. Okay. So the first example is on GJ. Here in the 15 minutes, you can see the booby trap was created there. So we find the trend. The trend is this candle, the first candle and the second candle creating the trend. And then we have the second rule, which is a weak level. A level was created, and you can see this bullish candle failed even to close 50% of this previous candle. You can see that, okay, creating this a weak level. And the third rule, you can see this candle created a huge rejection wick, a wick. And then from there now, we can enter just here, and the stop loss we put just above here, and then we can trade all this move going out, going down like that. Over 25 pips was being taken from just a very simple setup. So let's take another example. Another example you can see here, this is gold. You can see here, we have this booby trap here, and you can see the price created a trend, 1, 2, 3 candles, and then we had a weak level created. This candle was small and leaving out a large wick, creating this weak level, and then we can enter from this place here. Just after the price traded that area, we enter, and stop loss we just put up below here, and then we can join in and buy all this move over 80 200 something pips. You can see that. Very simple. Very, very simple. So another example you can see here. We had the strong trend here, the bearish trend, a lot of selling candles, and then we had this weak level created. You can see even this candle failed to close even 50% of that previous candle. So that was weak level, and then leaving out a large wick behind, making this an exhaustion candle, an exhaustion wick. So after we see that, we can enter just after the market traded below here, and then the stop loss we just put above there, above the candle here, okay, and then you can trade all this move going out, going down. From that point to that point was over 80 something pips. So this is one of the best entry, just a simple price action entry, and then it is very easy to trade that. So thank you very much, guys. See you on the next episode of the simple price action entries series. Thank you very much. See you on the next one.